The 1960 film Psycho by famous director Alfred Hitchcock is perhaps one of the most well-known and appreciated classic films in history. Upon its release, the suspense horror film was nominated for 4 Academy Awards. In 1992, the United States Library of Congress deemed the film culturally, historically, and aesthetically significant and had it preserved in the National Film Registry. Following Hitchcock's death in 1980, the initial success of the film prompted the studio to produce 3 sequels, a remake, a television movie spin-off, and finally a television series. The film's artistry and suspenseful plot was not lost on me, which is why I chose to review this film. Psycho tells the story of a secretary named Marion Crane, played by Janet Leigh, who leaves town with $40,000 that she stole from a client at her realtor's office. The film then deals with her ill-fated encounter with the reclusive owner of the Bates Motel, Norman Bates, played by Anthony Perkins. The film co-stars Vera Miles and John Gavin as Marion's sister and Marion's boyfriend respectively. Certainly the film's most famous scene, among the most famous scenes in movie history really, is the shower scene. This 3-minute-long segment was shot over 7 days and includes 77 different camera angles. It depicts the heroine, Marion Crane, relaxing in the hot water, oblivious to the dark figure appearing behind the curtain. Finally, the curtain is pulled back and screeching violin music plays as the killer violently stabs Marion to death. As such an important cinematic scene, logically it has been surrounded by much controversy. Some people say that, in order to get the best screams out of Janet Leigh, cold water was used. She denied this, saying that the crew was very accommodating and actually did use hot water for the whole shoot. Saul Bass, who was the graphics and storyboard artist for the film, claimed at one point that he directed the sequence. Janet Leigh said, "Absolutely not. I have emphatically said this in any interview I've ever given. I've said it to his face in front of other people. I was in that shower for 7 days, and believe me, Alfred Hitchcock was right next to his camera for every one of those 70-odd shots." A hugely important element to this film is its use of suspense. This is achieved mainly through the use of the music. The film's music was composed by Bernard Herrmann. Herrmann employed the use of screeching string instruments to really scare the viewers, and this is especially evident in the scene of Arbogast's murder. Let's take a listen. From a cinematographic point of view, the film was incredibly progressive. Though color films did exist at the time, Hitchcock opted to use black and white. This heightens the element of suspense, because black and white allows the director to play more with shadows. An interesting shot occurs during the shower scene, where the camera looks directly up at the shower head. Nowadays, we have protective gear that allows cameras to film in or around water, but back then it wasn't the case. The filmmakers blocked the inner holes of the shower head and placed the camera at a sufficient distance away with a long lens, so the water went around it. Overall, I thoroughly enjoyed this film. I was truly kept on the edge of my seat throughout. The characters were intriguing and the plot was well paced. I really found myself appreciating all the work that went into the cinematography, often marveling at the complexity of the shots considering the time period. I would definitely recommend this movie to anyone wanting a good thrill.